Yeah, man, I think, it's definitely like the fact that everything works. You cannot just make a change because if you make that change without thinking, something else is going to be affected. Everything runs so well because the timing, the magie, the flow. When we have 500 people and 27,000 square feet, everything needs to run very well. The floor manager, the service, everything is really, really well programmed to make really the guest experience um, basically flowing so well from dining to magic to more magic to more magic. And so if you change one item, you can just mess up the entire flow. And I think that's what surprised me because I was so involved at the Griffin Club, making the changes that I felt I needed to do. When I started to make changes over here, everything started to collapse. And so I started to text, I took a couple of steps back and I'm like, oh, wow, let's think more about the involvement with the other departments. And this is how I really kind of try to take 2 steps back, try to involve the team, even more for me to understand the operation and making sure that the decisions that we make are not affecting too much on the other end.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Private Club Radio Show podcast, the industry source for news, trends, updates, and conversations all in the world of private golf and country clubs. Whether you're a consummate professional or brand new to the industry, welcome. We are so glad you're here. I'm your host, Denny Corby. If you don't know already, my background comes from the entertainment side of the world. I do a magic, mind reading, and comedy show, primarily very heavily in the private club world, which brings me here. And in this episode, I bring on the general manager and chief operating officer of one of the most amazing places in the world, the Academy of Magical Arts, the Magic Castle, Mr. Irv Levy. He says his name so well, as he should. And I just feel like this hick dude from Pennsylvania who Irv Levy. Oh, that actually sounded pretty. Irv Levy. I think we'll leave it at that. Maybe I just won't say his name anymore so I don't embarrass him. Don't judge me. Don't hate me. But I am so excited because his journey is nothing short of magical himself. From his early days in hotel restaurants to his transformational role at the Griffin Club, his story has some amazing turns because he has a knack for innovation and transformation, which has shown through his tenure at the Griffin Club, where he helped oversee a massive $25 million renovation, turning it into a top-notch facility in California. And when it came to the Magic Castle, initially he was extremely skeptical about taking on the role at such an amazing, iconic venue. But his curiosity won, and it led him to managing one of the most unique clubs in the world. And it's not just... And the club itself, if you don't know the Magic Castle, you have to check it out. Most nights weekly, there are 13 performing, rotating entertainers and magicians, and they serve upwards of 550 guests a night. Meals, foods, 550 a night on the regular. Wow. The club did have some challenges and things going into it, and he helped take it to the next level. He has over 200 employees, over 28,000 square feet. And it's no small feat to run a place like that. And his role there has been absolutely pivotal in turning the place around. This is a wonderful episode. I'm so excited to have him on. If you have not done so already, before we get to the episode, if you're not done so already, sign up for our newsletter. Head on over to privateclubradio.com. The box will pop right up. Just sign up there. That way you stay up to date with all of our content, news, and updates. And also a quick note, a quick thank you to some of our show partners. Brand new, we have Golf Life Navigators, the only resource for golf enthusiasts to discover, experience, and ultimately secure their ideal club membership and golf community. Their search engines are free and provide instant results and connectivity to match golfers with their dream clubs. Because there's an overwhelming number of club options, and they assist in helping members find their dream clubs and help clubs find members who fit their club. Truly an amazing platform. If you want to learn more, head on over to golflifenavigators.com, fill out the form, set up a call with Jason Becker, and find out how you can be a part of that amazing platform. We have our friends Member Vetting, Kenneth, because the member vetting process really hasn't changed much in the past 150 years, almost relying solely on social relationships and casual interactions, but it lacks in factual data. The traditional application process tells very little about someone's behaviors and characters, and that is until now, because Ken has created an innovative, confidential, and comprehensive applicant information gathering process that provides an unrivaled depth of information. If you would like to learn more, head on over to membervetting.com, set up a call with Paul Dank, and I guarantee it's going to be one of the best calls you can have for your club. Also, make sure to check out our episodes of Member Vetting here on Private Club Radio. And we have our friends, Concert Golf Partners, boutique owner-operators of private golf and country clubs nationwide. If you, your club, friends club, enemies club is looking for some recapitalization, head on over to concertgolfpartners.com, set up a confidential phone call with Peter Nanula and see if you guys are a good fit. And finally, since we're talking about magic in the Magic Castle, myself, I'm one of the show partners. I have my show. It's a magic, mind-reading, comedy, and crowd work show, The Denny Corby Experience. It is one of the most fun member event nights your club is going to have, guaranteed. There's excitement, there's mystery, also there's magic. It is so much crowd work, so much banter, interaction, and engagement with the club. Your members are going to leave going, you just had to be there. That's how they're going to describe it. It's so much fun. I am a bit biased, though. If you want to learn more, head on over to dennycorby.com and hit me up and we'll chat. I'm also very active on LinkedIn as well. But that's that. I am very excited. Private Club Radio. Let's welcome to the show, Irv Levy. Irv Levy. Sorry, bud.
Yes, my name is Hervé Levy. I'm the General Manager and Chief Operating Officer at the Academy of Magical Arts, which is at the Magic Castle.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Now, bring me back to like 1998. You get into restaurants. And then from there, you get into private clubs. Now, when you were going to school, did you know about clubs and private clubs, or was it just like a brand new thing to you that you found yourself in?
Yeah, it's very interesting because I only knew hotels and restaurants. So my focus was hotel and restaurants. And so when I was working for the Hilton in Huntington Beach, I was looking to leave, and because I think I was, done and, with learning my new skills. And so I wanted to do something different. And I saw, I remember, I think it was on Craigslist at that time, that they were looking, I know, they were looking for assistant, or actually director of food and beverage for a club in Altadena. Number one, I didn't know where Altadena was. And number two, I was like, what's a club? So right away, I thought it was going to be like a nightclub. But after reading the job description, it was very intriguing. So I decided to apply. And I was able to secure an interview, and it definitely got me going.
That's awesome. Now, I knew you had some, the Griffin Club. Can you talk about that? That's a really interesting place.
Yes, when they hired me, it was called Beverly Hills Country Club. It was very interesting because it was not in Beverly Hills and it was not a country club. So it was basically like a tennis club with fitness and restaurant. So when the new owners hired me, it was to undergo about 25 million renovation. So we renovated the place for the first my first 2.5 years there. Move everyone out of the building. We move everyone inside tents. It was very hot in there, especially during the summer. We were doing food and beverage tents, fitness tents. We were doing on the tennis courts, a lot of different youth activities. So it was definitely like a good transition where we went from Beverly Hills Country Club to a Griffin Club. So as you can imagine, you open a brand new club. So everything is brand new. Not only you have to really focus on the temporary tents and facilities and operation, but you have to actually be strategical about what the new club is going to look like. And so after about looking at how the kitchen should be looking at, how the restaurant, and making sure that you make the right decision, because when it's set up and built, there's no going back. And so we need to make sure like you think about every single details that needs to be put inside that renovation. And we made some mistake, and we learn, along the way. And then you have to hire the right people. You have to hire the manager, the leadership team that actually translates the new culture that's going to be, at the end of the day. So, from the new POS system, buying new pens and for the kitchen and getting all the office supplies and new computers, you have to do everything from scratch. So it took us about 2.5 years to do that. And when we opened up, it was actually from, I believe it was August 2017, if I remember. We were about 3 months delayed. Of course, construction
That's
happened.
not too bad.
It
That's
wasn't
not
too
too
bad.
bad. All things considered, that's not horrible.
It wasn't horrible. And so we ended up like opening, and we had some horror story, obviously, from like staff not showing up, training was not going, the way we wanted to be or going. And but at the end of the day, I think we did a very, very good job building what the Griffin Club is today. Since then, they built, like a new pool. So we have two pools now, 7 tennis courts, 8 tennis courts, I'm sorry, fitness facility, 2 restaurants, banquet space, and a huge youth activity. So we had a lot of kids. It was supposed to be a club for families where you basically can come with, you 2.5 kids, and and then just leave them for the clubs to take care of. So it's like a huge daycare, I would say, leaving a lot of chicken fingers and ketchup on the ground. But you know what? That's where the membership wanted, and so we made it happen.
I gotcha. Now, fast forward when the Academy. So how did this come about for the Magic Castle and the Academy of Magical Arts? Were you looking, like, did they call you? And is it like when the Magic Castle calls, like you have to pick up? Like, what was that like getting that position?
So after working there at the Griffin Club 6 years, I started to become like a little bit bored, because we done so many things for the first 4 or 5 years, and everything kind of came back, and it was just like it was too easy.
Yeah.
And I was looking to kind of leave. And I know I interviewed for a different club, a country club up in the valley. And I actually arrived number two in the process. And so it was a very casual interview, but they actually gave me the taste of see what's out there. And so when I saw the Magic Castle looking, I inquired first, with a recruiter. I asked him the question, and I basically told him, no, actually, I'm not going to apply. Because I was like, I didn't want to be bored. I was like, it's going to be just a restaurant, and I don't want to be in the same situation I am right now. So maybe a month later, I had a bad day at work, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should actually consider going to the Magic Castle. So I actually called a recruiter, and it was a Thursday at 7 p.m. And he told me, you know what? The interview is happening Saturday. So I can squeeze your application, but you have to send me everything today, including basically all the questionnaires. They
Yeah.
had a lot of documents to fill out. And I think I worked until 1 o'clock in the morning that day, sent everything to him. And on Saturday, they were able to review application. And I was picked out of 300 application, I think. So it was like a
Congrats.
group of 10 of us, and you went from group from 10 to 5, 5 to 3, 5 to 2. And then we went to just a presentation between me and someone else. Yeah, we did a presentation, and I was the lucky winner of this of
That's
the
awesome.
process.
That's awesome. So, for listeners who might not know, can you describe the Academy of Magical Arts, the Magic Castle, and what you have under your control?
So when you look at the Magic Castle from outside, from the street, it looks like a tiny castle over the hill. It looks like a 3,000 square feet, house mansion, or maybe 4,000 square feet mansion. But when you go inside, it's very, very deceiving from the outside because we have about 28,000 square feet space. So we have a lot of basement space. It goes underneath. We have a huge restaurant. We have about 140 seats in a restaurant. But the good thing is we do three turns. Let me explain. When you first walk in as a guest, you go to the main bar, you can have a drinks, and you go to the restaurant. The first sitting is at 6 o'clock. We have a 6 o'clock seating, 8 o'clock seating, 10 o'clock seating. The 6 o'clock seating goes with the 8 o'clock show. Then the 8 o'clock seatings go to the 10 o'clock show, and then the 10 o'clock seatings go to the 11:30 show. So you basically create a rush for people to leave because they have a show to attend. So we can flip the dining room 3 times in the same evening. And in addition to the bar service, we can do as many as 550 people every single night. When we actually open on weekends, we have brunch and we do about 300 for brunch and we do a 550 for dinner. So, it's very typical for us to have a 70, 80, 90, $100,000 day, especially on weekends, because we are extremely busy. We have about 13 different performers. They actually rotate, from one week to the next. So if you come today, you have completely different performers next week. So it's actually great, very good for the membership because they can come as many times as they want and they don't get bored with magic. 13
Right.
different magicians include, 5 big rooms and additional rooms for impromptu magic. So it's a very, very interesting, and most of the people don't understand how the Magic Castle work and until you actually go in and experience it the first time.
So what does a typical day look like for you? What are some of like the challenges that you face on a daily basis?
So we have 200 employees. So that's actually, 200 employees, you never know what to get. You have a lot of, obviously issues from the HR perspective or making sure that, like everybody's happy. Luckily, we have actually a very high satisfaction score on the employee survey. But every single week we have a different day. We never know what to get because um, the membership here is very, very interesting. I've never been in a club, and that's my sixth club, with a membership so involved. They want to be part of everything, every decision. They want to give the grain of salt for everything. They basically feel like they own the club. And yes, you can make a point that most of the clubs out there are equity, but usually the board of directors make decisions and for the membership, and the membership is not so involved. They're like the members, they want to know everything. They want to be telling us how to run a club every single day. So it is definitely sometimes challenging to make some big changes because you get about 500 emails as soon as you make a change, and you have to explain the reason why we're making those changes. So internal communication is very important. We try to send out as many emails as possible to explain why we're doing items, try to kind of prevent the flow of complaints or issues. So you can imagine between the employees, between the membership who's very involved, but also the magic and the auditions. And we have a lot of different committees. Food, we have to make sure that we change our food menu all the time. We have 29 million operation here. So out of 29 million operation, 20 million is food. So we are one of the top restaurant in Los Angeles. I think it was top 3 restaurant in Los Angeles.
Wow.
So it's a lot of decision making, and so I don't think I can describe a typical day because I don't think we have a typical day here.
Yeah. What when you first showed up, what were some things that surprised you? So because it has to be a little unique, this club and position that you walked into. Were there any things that surprised you early on? You're like, whoa.
Yeah, man, I think it's definitely like the fact that everything works you cannot just make a change, because if you make that change without thinking, something else is going to be affected. Everything runs so well because the timing, the magie, the flow. When we have 500 people and 27,000 square feet, so everything needs to run very well. The floor manager, the service, everything is really, really well programmed to make really the guest experience um, basically flowing so well from dining to magic to more magic to more magic. And so if you change one item, you can just mess up the entire flow. And I think that's what surprised me, because I was so involved at the Griffin Club, making the changes that I felt I needed to do. When I started to make changes over here, everything started to collapse. And so I started to text, I took a couple of steps back and I'm like, oh, wow, let's think more about the involvement with the other departments. And this is how I really
Yeah.
kind of try to take 2 steps back, try to involve the team, even more for me to understand the operation, and making sure that the decisions that we make are not affecting too much on the other end.
What have been some of your favorite or biggest accomplishments or things that you've done at the club that you're uh, proud about?
I think it's the communication. The fact that now we communicate with the membership, but also with the staff. It was very important. Also, the creation of the HR department. I think before it used to be um, very hard to file a proper complaint, like in the organization, because everybody was really, all the department manager were kind of related in one sense, and there were no department manager, so people were kind of scared to go and talk to their manager. So I think we created that flow with the HR department, which is completely separated. Try to have this communication going from the employees to the management. Open door policies. Try to change the culture. We hear you. We are starting to um, to send every single month an employee newsletter, making sure that everything was listed. With starting recognizing people not only on their birthday, anniversary, but how long they've been working there. Really try to kind of foster that employee um, and management relationship. And I think they didn't have that before. And I think that became like a huge accomplishment. And we started to hire the right department manager who were really focused on the same culture that we try to create. And we hire an executive chef who's just fantastic. He's just was able to change the food. The Magic Castle used to have like a very bad reputation with their food, but now we're getting more and more um, amazing comments, on Yelp and everywhere, saying how great the food is. Not only he was able to fix the food, but he was able to fix the culture inside the kitchen. The staff love him. They really love his, not only his leadership, but how he trained them, how he spent time with them. He's a human. He's not just like this French chef that's
Yeah.
screaming at everyone, right? So I think it's definitely someone that I respect, and definitely part of the solution of where we are right now.
How long was the food issue going on for?
So the food, I think the bad reputation for the food lasted for years and years, and I think um, people were
Was
not
there a
coming for the
constant
food.
flow of like chefs? Like, was there just different chefs coming in, and then finally, was it just finally you got the great chef who had actual leadership skills and the abilities to make amazing foods and dishes, and while training and mentoring?
Like when you have maybe like not necessarily the right culture, you are seeing more revolving doors. You have see people leaving
Mm.
and not definitely staying and committed to the place. So that's is part of that, I believe. Like the chefs were staying a year and a half, 2 years, and they were not able to stay because maybe the culture was not where they wanted to be. And so fixing the culture first, having a chef, and now we're having, this roadmap to where everything how everyone should behave, and have this open communication definitely makes a difference. And not only with leadership but food quality, and because it becomes consistent, you see the passion on dishes, you focus on freshness of the product, you really care about what you're sending out, instead of just, I have to do my job, I'm sending that food out, because I have to do that. I think that this chef is really able to come across as the changes that he makes are very methodologies. He want to make sure like everything is like from seasonality. He wants to make sure the execution is well done as well. If you can imagine, we almost like have a banquet system here, because at 6 o'clock everybody is coming, and they all leave at 8 o'clock, and we have a little crowd, 140 people coming at 8 o'clock, and a crowd coming at 10 p.m. So you have to execute like a banquet, but at the same time, it's a la carte menu. So this is not easy, and not every chef can do that. And this chef was able to do it because he kind of changed the system from, instead of having the salmon with their own risotto and their own vegetables, and then you have the sea bass with their own this and on that, he actually changed it to a steakhouse kind of concept. So he was definitely able to execute that large amount of people in a very short amount of time, 3 times during the night, with that system. So I think that was a game changer.
Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of chefs would probably go and going, oh yeah, I got this. And you get in, you're like, oh, this is three shows a night, every night. Like, this is mental toughness beyond belief. And then having to, because you can't have a bad day, because then you're like the leader, you're the one in the kitchen, like that. Oh man. So yeah, that is awesome. I think I want to talk to a chef too. No, but no, that is awesome.
He's French Canadian, so I'm French myself, so you might not hear his accent. Understand his accent.
You could translate or whatever.
Exactly. I don't understand his accent either.
Well, hey, I want to thank you so much for spending some time, shedding some light on the Magic Castle and your career, and thank you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just make sure this loads. Hope you all enjoyed that episode. This hit so close to home. Such a good episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing some knowledge with us, sir, Mr. Irv Levy. I think I said that right. I think I said it good. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for being on the show. It means the absolute world. Thank all of you listeners for listening to the episode. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you like, share, subscribe, share it with somebody. Sign up for our newsletter, privateclubradio.com. Follow and subscribe on whatever platform you are consuming the content on. Means the world, costs nothing, and we really appreciate it over here. That's this episode. Hope you all enjoyed that. I'm your host, Danny Corby. Until next time, catch you on the flippity flip.